Hi there, I'm Courtney Schaefer, and this is Liesel from Cohansey. She is an 11-month-old Deutsch Drahthaar, and today we're going to be starting force fetch with her. So I thought it would be valuable to record this session so we can show folks how we get started with the process here. So a couple of things to start off with. First off, as I mentioned, she's 11 months old. Usually I start dogs much younger, but I also don't like to force fetch dogs during the hunting season. I don't want to confuse them while they're retrieving wild birds. So our hunting season here in Nebraska just finished up yesterday, so thus today is the perfect day to start force fetch. You will notice Liesel is wearing a diaper here. She came into heat 3 days ago, so today is day 3 of her heat cycle, but I've always been a strong believer that heat cycles shouldn't impact training. You can still train right through them. You don't use them as a handicap. So Liesel, come here. So to start force fetch, I always start off with a bag full of cheese. So all I did is I just went to Walmart, bought a block of cheese, cut it up into cubes, so I have it ready as a training treat. It's nice to have something little, something easily digestible for the dogs. I have yet to meet a dog that doesn't like cheese. And I'm going to use a lot of positive reinforcement. You know, you can also see Liesel's wearing a leash. We're going to be doing a lot of obedience as we move through force fetch. So we'll just start off with working with hold. I like to start off with a couple of really easy dummies. So I always start off with Old Reliable, just a nice cheap canvas dummy. So to start off with, I always have the dog on my left side. I'm right-handed. I've got her sitting here. I've got a leash on so that I can maintain control. I want her to always start from a seated position for this time being. And I'm going to put my left hand on her ear. I'm not actually going to pinch or apply any pressure. I just want her getting used to this idea of having, my hands on her ears. Eventually I will be pinching her to ask her to retrieve. This is a strong retrieving dog, so you can see she's already interested. She's already thinking about the dummy. But through the process of force fetch, we're going to teach her that she needs to reach for it and grab it every time I tell her to, and that she must maintain holding it until I ask her to drop. Liesel, ready? Fetch. You can see she doesn't want to just naturally open her mouth, so I'm going to use my fingers and open her mouth for her. Good. I always like to pull the lips out so they're not biting themselves, so I want them to be comfortable. And for now, I'm just keeping this hand here to hold the dummy in place. Good. Good. Drop. Good job. Sit. So as soon as they're holding it and not fighting you, and you can feel there's a release where you don't have to hold them, I'm going to immediately take the dummy out, and she immediately gets a piece of cheese. Sit. Good. Ready? Fetch. So again, just holding her ear, not applying pressure, just opening her mouth manually. Good. Good. She fought me, so I'm not going to let her go there. Good. Drop. Yeah! Good job! Sit. It's always good to get them in the habit of sitting before you do give them that cheese treat. Eventually she's going to be coming up and sitting to present game, so we need her to be in that habit. So again, I'm just going to go through this in rapid fire without stopping to interject with comments so you get a better idea how a normal training session goes when I'm not narrating. But the big thing here is that I'm just going to increasingly try to get her to hold the dummy for longer and longer, and hopefully she'll start to make that connection that as long as she sits and holds it nicely, she will get a treat. Sit. If she fights me, she's just going to have to hold it longer. Liesel. Most dogs are pretty excited about the cheese, so they start breaking a little early. Ready? Fetch. So again, I'm just prying her mouth open. Good. Hold. So a simple verbal correction there. Drop. Yeah! Good job! We want her to start learning that as soon as she holds this dummy, she's going to get some cheese. Ready? Fetch. So not applying pressure, just having a hand on the ear so she gets used to that. Good. Such a good girl. Good job. Drop. Yeah, good job. There was just the slightest second there where I was not holding her mouth shut, but she was holding the dummy. So already we're seeing some progress. Sit. Good. Ready? Fetch. We want her to associate dummies with rewards. Good. So I still have to open her mouth, but you can see already, she's getting much better at just holding it. Good. Look at you. Drop. Yeah! Another thing I'm trying to do right now is when I put the dummy in her mouth, I'm trying to use one hand, and then whenever I remove it and say drop, I'm trying to use both hands. Dogs really cue in on physical cues like that. So hoping, again, in the future, kind of laying the ground rules so that she knows she's supposed to hold a duck or a rabbit or a fox until I grab it with both hands. Liesel, sit. Good. Ready? I'm gonna go a little quicker now. Good. Good. You can see I can already move my hand away. Drop. Good girl! Good job. It's amazing how quickly they put this all together on day one. Ready? Fetch. So just using my thumb to pry her mouth open. Good. Good job. Good. Just hold still. Good girl. Good. Drop. Yes! Good job. Good. Ready? Let's fetch. Good. My bad, I dropped it. Good. Good job. I'm trying to keep her chin up too to help her hold it. Good. So even if they start to drop their head like that, don't let them get away with it. Drop. I don't know if you can hear that in the camera, but one of the dogs outside is very disappointed to not be participating, so he's thus started howling. Sit. It's a little distracting, but we'll try to power through it because eventually Liesel's going to have to learn to work through a lot of other distractions. Liesel, you ready? Fetch. Good. Yes, good girl. Hold. If they fall down like this, go ahead and pull them back into a sit. They need to learn that they remain in a seated position. Good. Ready? Drop. Good job. Good girl. This is pretty challenging asking this pup on her first day to work through a dog howling at the door. Sit. But we're going to press on. Ready? Okay. So kind of I'm holding the ear too just to keep the head in place. Good. Hold. Yeah. Good girl. Oh, very nice. Look at that. Good dog. Liesel, I like to try to get eye contact. Sit. Later we'll work on moving with the dummy, not usually on day one. So I'm just gently helping her with some physical corrections. She's been holding it quite a while. Good. Dropped it, so I'm just going to help her correct herself. Such a good girl. Drop. Good. But you saw there were some times in there where she was holding on her own for some time. Good. Good job. Good job. Yes. I do think it's good to kind of relieve the tension at some point, especially with a young dog and especially with all that's going on in our yard right now too. So just take a minute to take a breather and tell them what a good dog they are. Right, Lies? Who's my good girl? Yeah. All right, Liesel, come here. Sit. Good. Ready? Okay, fetch. Good. Good job. Good. All right, she's starting to pant a little, so that's making this a little harder. Sit. Stop. Hold. She's telling me she's about done. I'm about done too. I don't normally go this long, but with the narration, it's taking a little longer. Whoa, oh. You still can't let them win though. We have to end on success. Good. Good job. So you can see she was fighting me there. I just didn't let her win. Stay. Good. Drop. Good job. Good girl. I think that's probably pretty good for a first session on day one. Usually on the first day of force fetch, I kind of like to do 2 a day, so I'll try to set this up and we'll give her an hour or two. I'll take her for a walk. We'll go say hi to the other dogs. we'll come back this afternoon for a second session and go on from there. But you can see that she's getting warm, kind of sitting here in the sunlight. And really 5 to 10 minutes is all you really want to do. These are young dogs. This shouldn't be high pressure training. Liesel, sit. So we'll go from there. And then when we come to the next session, we'll introduce a second dummy. So we'll start rotating between 2 different dummies that are both easy to use. And then we'll start to introduce a little bit of movement just to keep them loose and moving around. You know, as soon as she's holding it pretty well, then we can go into a little bit of like healing work and some sit, stay, and everything. Sit. You can see too that I'm not using a training table. I think they work great if you want to use them, but I've found that just personally, I like to start in my living room, and I don't have room in the living room for a training table. So we're just kneeling here on the floor. I like to use a piece of rug where she's got some stability for footing and so on. But we will call that the end of session 1 and join you later.